How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about a plot hole in Naruto that's not really important at all, but I just think it's fun to talk about. And that is the question of how Naruto is the same age as all of his classmates, give or take a year, if he failed the exam 3 times. Today in this one, I'm going to go over the theories in the community around why it might happen, why I like the theory, why I don't like the theory, and ultimately give you my opinion as to which of the theories I subscribe to in my own headcanon. Now, this plot hole is really a combination of a couple of smaller plot holes that all come together and contradict one another and leave us with a bunch of questions. The first plot point we need to get into here is whether or not they let you take multiple tests each year. So we basically know through Kakashi and Itachi that they used to let you kind of test out whenever you wanted to if you had the skill and intelligence to back it up. Now, we also know that after Itachi, to save face and put more blame on Itachi, then they sort of got rid of this rule. That being said, it doesn't necessarily write it out as a possibility. However, understanding this and accepting that they take multiple tests per year, or at least have the option to take multiple tests per year, it still stands to reason that somebody as smart as Sakura or as adept as Sasuke would have still passed before him. On top of that, a conversation that we hear between Mizuki and Iruka heavily implies, if not directly states, that they've witnessed plenty of shinobi come through the academy and surpass Naruto, implying that he's been there for a while. The second theory is that Naruto entered the academy early, which there are some reasons as to why this could have been the case, as in Hiruzen didn't have the time or patience to deal with a child, and so we just sort of threw him into the academy as early as possible. However, from flashbacks, we kind of have a really good understanding of the relationship between the Konoha 12 before the academy, and that is that they were friends and not friends. Like, for example, we know that Ino and Sakura were best friends before Sasuke showed up. And once they got an eye for Sasuke, that's where their rivalry started, meaning they also knew of Sasuke, they knew of Naruto already. So they all interacted beforehand, leading us to believe that he did not actually enter early. The third theory surrounds how he may have been able to catch up to his class through some form of summer school or tutoring or something outside of academy hours. All right, now having heard these theories and these sort of contradictory statements that we have here in the information, now it's time for the fun part. We get to develop our own theory as to why things are the way they are. Personally, the only one that I think it can't be is the second one, due to the fact that we know a few things. Again, to reiterate, we know from flashbacks that they knew each other before they were all in the academy, and that enough really leads us to believe that he wasn't in early. But if you need a little bit more proof, we know through their conversations that Team Guy, including Neji, Tenten, and Rock Lee, were a year older than Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, meaning had Naruto been there a year earlier than all of them, they would have known him, which they didn't. That, combined with the flashbacks, paints a really obvious picture, in my opinion, of that he did not enter early. He entered at the same time as all of them. So that easy explanation out the window. Now, I believe it could be any or a combination of both of the remaining 2 theories. What we know because of Kakashi and his backstory is that you can request to take the Genin test, meaning as long as you were of age, again, because they no longer let you do it when you were like 5, like Kakashi and Itachi did, but once you are of age, you can request to take the test as many times as you want, in theory. So just because he couldn't have taken it early doesn't mean he couldn't have just taken it a bunch of times in a pretty short period. Which ultimately leads me to believe that despite failing all of those times, he failed all of those times in the same year. So they started, he got to the point of the year where he was eligible to take the tests, and then proceeded to just rapid fire take a bunch, leading to the situation where on the 4th time where he finally passes, he did it so in time to catch up and make teams with the people who are in his age group. In other words, he was able to catch up so he didn't fall behind. This is corroborated by the fact that we know his class knows about the failures. In fact, through some other backstories, we know that they were actually there to witness the failures, which means in all reality, he just took it in front of them, and all of them, knowing they probably wouldn't pass yet, just waited. Now, ultimately, while this is a fun plot hole, it's nothing game breaking or manga breaking, right? It doesn't ruin the story. It doesn't really mean anything, but I just thought it was a bit of fun. And it ultimately just comes down to a culmination of trying to maintain canon and have it so there's not a weird explanation as to their age differences, and so it all just makes sense. Basically, it's just a way to wrap everything up into a little bow. Or it could just be a regular old plot hole that has no answer, and all of this work was for nothing. But ultimately, that's my 2 cents on the matter. That's what I choose to subscribe to in my head canon. So leave any other plot hole theories you have of Naruto, One Piece, any other anime you'd like in the comments below.